Morning, how are you? Ja, das ist gut. Oh, I guess the music's going to stop. All right, I guess music stopped. That means it's time to get going. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community. Almost 20,000 Forex traders. Hey, that's impressive. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for being a positive part of the community. I think we make the Forex world a little bit better of a place to be because we're sharing this journey together. So, the raison d'etre of us gathering here today is to get a sense of the market through planning trades. Technical and fundamental analysis. Good stuff. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, not necessarily indicative of future results, but please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money, cannot afford to lose. Been doing these live streams for almost 20 years, so you'll find 6,000 videos associated with my work on YouTube. Links are in the description below. A link to my book, a link to fxbootcamp.com, which is premium training courses. Hey, it's $88 a year. Don't sign up. What else? Link to Trader's Way. That's a link you should probably check out. They're a broker. Yeah. It seems to me they don't trade against their clients. Isn't that interesting? A revolutionary new model built on business ethics. Yeah, that's revolutionary. Is FX Bootcamp your day trading group? Well, part of it. You can, after you become a member of the community, you can upgrade your account if you want to and join either the day trading group or the swing trading group. Yeah, pretty easy. Trader's Way, as a broker, offers fast execution speed, narrow spreads, huge swaps. But I believe if they can earn your loyalty and respect, you'll become a client because of their business ethics. Think of that. That's important, isn't it? Incredibly important. But you'll never know unless you visit Trader's Way and open up a demo account. I recommend them. They earn my loyalty and respect. Maybe they'll earn yours. I think you should do it. Guess we're on PIG. Are you trading PIG? I imagine so. So, Bank of England raised interest rates. We all knew that. We discussed it in great detail recently in these streams and in the live groups at FX Bootcamp. And what matters most is that forward guidance. And yeah, they're in an economic world of hurt, huh? Here, I'm going to move this. I can't keep scalping while I'm coaching. So anyways, anywho, they're in a world of hurt, high inflation, unemployment's going to go up. Things could get ugly. There's a lot of risk in the market in the near future that are, is not even really reflected in these charts, really. I mean, not this move that we had today. That had to do with the Bank of England. But what this is showing you is there are a lot of people on the planet Earth that are concerned about the British economy. Okay. So some point here, we've had a change in direction. It had been going up for a while. Many of the markets around the world stabilized around the Fed meeting. The Fed meeting occurred in sort of this time period. Now you'll notice the dollar pairs moved instantly, obviously because of the Fed and what's been called the dovish pivot in the Fed. I'm not so sure that that's actually occurred, but whatever. So we had some up, and then I think people are starting to now isolate pound in of itself. And of course, this is their big meeting versus the Fed big meeting, right? So you need to now make decisions, okay, of will you continue to sell Great British Pound? That's going to be, for example, your professional advice to a potential client one day. So I would think about it. I would gather the data. One PowerPoint slide deck should be able to say, well, you've analyzed the economic data and the central bank, the Bank of England in this case, the central bank's, if you want to call it future guidance. And from that, you've determined a bias. Because we're at this critical point now. Obviously, the news has come out. We've hit support. So your decision needs to be sort of like, which one? Okay. That's that. That means you got to get through non-farm payrolls tomorrow. And that, again, that's dollar related, but it brings volume and volatility to the market, particularly if people want to buy or sell pound dollar tomorrow based on non-farm payrolls. Okay. But really, what do you want to do the rest of August is the bigger question. Once again, to plug FX Bootcamp's live trading groups, we've already made those decisions. We already did that. Okay? And the decision I made is I still want to own dollar, even though US dollar got weak since the Fed meeting. And I still want to sell the pound and I want to sell the euro. Okay? Cool. So it fits my model fine, but I could be wrong. I really don't believe it matters what I think. I think you could disagree with me and make money. I think I could disagree with you and make money. I think we could have opposing opinions and still make money. I think the problem with many retail traders is they don't have an opinion. And that, I think that, I think at least on the long run, that's not helpful. Okay. Matrix says the market seems not to want to let anyone ride a trend. Well, that's also a seasonal issue. Okay. That's a seasonal issue. Take a look around the world, not just at pig, because that's already old news, right? Right. I advise people if you're going to trade the pound, to do it early in the week and hold it through the Bank of England meeting. Okay, you see that? So anyways, what else is going on? Dollar's fairly stable. Yen is stabilizing, up and then down, and maybe stabilizing here. Euro still has some strength. Well, for now is what I think. But I know a lot of banks are positioned long on euro. But we'll see. I think there's, again, risk. So what that means, when I mean risk, is that everything seems fine and dandy now. So it's up. But things can change pretty quickly when it comes to Europe versus sort of a different economy. And so that you have to be prepared for that. I made a decision quite a while ago that I don't want to own euro as an asset. So when it goes up, I don't have to buy it. Okay? So like when I think of euro, if I'm going to trade euro, I might trade euro Aussie down. I might trade euro CAD down. I might trade euro Kiwi down. I might trade euro dollar down. And then you might say, well, Wayne, you haven't had a trade like that in a bit. Oh, I know. It's okay. Okay. So I wait. It's okay. So let's kind of take a look. I don't think it's necessary to do pound now. Pound has moved, obviously. You've either traded it or ignored it. You might have positioned it early in the week like I suggested, or you're scalping it now. Fine. The much bigger question is, what are you going to do next week, I think. So I'll leave you to that. So you'd have to say, which one do you like best to trade, right? And so I would say, well, I still like dollar. Let's take a look at commodities first today. Let's do gold, oil, and Bitcoin. Ooh la la. Ooh la la, huh? Look at our oil. So we're at the 91. This is the moment of truth, really. Okay, moment of truth. Let me kind of get in here. Oh, that's too much. This is what I'm looking at now. Okay. That's why I say moment of truth. And it'd be interesting to see what happens next. What could we do here? Well, I can't sell it. Why can't I sell it now? It's that support. Isn't it nice to have clarity? Okay. So if I were going to engage, let's say, in the next 4 hours in oil, well, I'm not talking about like a target and that kind of stuff. Matrix, that would keep me out as a bull if we dropped to 85. I think we could. Doesn't matter to me. But at some point on a smaller time frame than this hour, let's say on a 5-minute chart or something, I'm going to need a pattern like this. Okay. Matrix says, or take profit now, meaning you've been short earlier. And that would actually be logical. And that's the whole point. So in the past, for whatever reason, once again, Fed meeting, but whatever. For whatever reason, we held up here at 91 the last time we came down. Okay. So if, as Matrix says, or take profit now, if market participants make that decision, and it's a logical decision, then you will get profit taking and this will move up. And that's where I would engage. What I don't know is, can we breach this level? Can we breach this level? And eventually, can we breach this level? I don't know that. So in the beginning, I can't sell. I could do nothing. Staying in cash is a position. But if we get a reversal here on, let's say, 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, whatever, then it's probably going to go up and then down, and then up and then down, and then up and then down. Okay? That kind of thing. I have some theories of when oil is going to go up, and I have discussed it in great detail, and it's not necessarily now. It could be now. It can be now. Remember, there's no magic to this. So it could be now, but it could be later, and I'm okay with that too. The standard operating procedure, right? If Matrix is right in the other comment of, well, this goes down to 85, well, that's cool because this is what will happen. And I can trade that. See, I can't trade at 91. Okay, check this out. I can't trade at 91. I got to get rid of this. Okay. I can't trade at 91, but I can trade at 91. What? Can't at 90. I can't sell at 91, but I can sell at 91. It's confusing, right? No. What's the difference? I can't sell at 91 at support, but if we breach support, fall down, and then rally back up, I can sell at 91 at resistance. You see? Yeah. It's the same price, but a different risk profile. And it takes a while for newer traders to figure all that out. Right? I can't sell at 91, but I could sell at 91. And there's rational reasoning behind that. The same thing like euro dollar going up doesn't necessarily mean people are buying euro. That's confusing too. So for example, if this next candle is green, okay, it doesn't mean people bought oil. What does it probably mean? Bears took profit. Okay. I would like, for example, to have other confirmation. Things like, but what I've been watching for quite some time on oil is something simple like a 21.55 cross up and then riding the 21 up as well. That'll probably take 2 days to put together. I also look at this on a daily, and I've been watching oil very closely on the daily. And it's bearish. There's no other way of looking at it. So why buy it when it's bearish? Well, it could be the bottom. Now, I want you to think about this. Picking bottoms is a strategy that stinks. Think about that. And when you get it, you're going to go, oh, that's gross. Picking bottoms is a strategy that stinks. Okay. So anyways, I'm waiting for the correct risk profile, and it doesn't look like a great opportunity to start owning this asset. Okay. Now, could I sell? Like I said, I could sell later. I can't sell there. So I could scalp the profit taking, or I could trade the pullback. Okay. Cool. Going out here, this is the world trading a less aggressive Fed. I put this on the chart before the Fed meeting came out, which was here. That's how long ago I did this. It's daily. So I put, if we get a less aggressive Fed, then price action is going to put this up. Let's do this in a different color. Okay. Price action would take it up, and then I drew this down, and then I drew this up, and then I drew this down, and then I drew this up, then I drew this down, and then I have a lower high, lower low, which, if I drew it correctly, is, giving you a model for next week. Okay. More aggressive Fed would have taken this down the other way. That's what I'm trying to share with you, your thought process. Do you understand how that's a model? I created a model for the future. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I didn't know Powell was going to be interpreted as being less aggressive. But how accurate was it? How would you grade that one? How would you grade that thought process and then the price action that ensued after it? A, B, C, D, or fail? I don't think you can say fail, even if you hate my guts. You're like, well, he's a jerk, but that's pretty good. If you recall, I had to go out onto a weekly chart even just to get the room to draw it. B plus, yeah, it's pretty good. Notice that it's not just straight up. It's up and then down, and then up and then down, and then up and then down, and then lower high, and then a lower low. Okay. So if it's pretty reasonable, and again, we're predicting the future, which is a real difficult thing to do, isn't it? That's a real difficult thing to do. But I hope if you look at it and you're like, well, that's actually pretty good, then if it's pretty good, there's logic. If it's logic, I can teach you. And if you don't have to be a rocket surgeon, right? But at some point, you should be able to be taught. Okay? Okay? At some point, you should be able to be taught. Otherwise, it's just random, and then there's no point. Okay? No point. If it's random, then it's just total chaos. There's no pattern. Okay? There's no pattern. It's chaos. Or the other way, everything is so well known that every piece of alpha has been arbitraged out. Well, I don't believe that either, because then there would be nothing to do. I look at a chart like this and I think, oh, there's definitely a pattern going on. Okay? And that influences my point of view. What's up, DK? Yeah, send me that that email so I can put the 20K in your account. Oh, looks like we're getting through the 91. Oh. It's going to be a very interesting morning. Yeah, Jim's like the oil short. Yeah. So we had a big interest rate decision today. The Czech Republic decided not to raise interest rates. Keep them at, what, 7.25%? That'd be interesting if we had that. No. Frontier markets and emerging markets, a whole different ballgame of trading. But it'd be interesting to create a portfolio of such. Awesome, Darko. Go get them. Patrick says, S&P down today? Yeah, I was thinking of actually taking profit on some of my stock trades. Some of my trades are up 20%. And I'm like, I should probably take, it seems weird, but to take some profit and then move some of that around to the next wave of positions I'd like to own. So anyway, I bring this up because when the dollar is weak, emerging markets, because of their debt structure, perform better. I don't know about well, they still have to run their countries, but they perform much better when the US dollar is weak. Okay. Now, I didn't get this one. It was something we were talking about, and I had shown how this trade has not been working for a while, but if you do a search on YouTube, you'll find I've done a 6-minute video teaching you how to trade the USD Mexican peso and why it works. I think that's literally what it's called. And you'd look at this pattern and you'd say, well, it hasn't been working for a while. Well, look, we're in a weird economy. But it's interesting that the first week we did get a rollover at about the right price. And especially like that's the monthly sell price. This is the weekly sell price. It's a counter trend. It's, by the way, this counter trend that you're looking at in the training course, yes, it's a plug. It's $88, dude. Sign up. One of the things you'll learn in the course is that this move here to the upside, if you're here on Tuesday, I'll ask you guys, if you are here on Tuesday after a move like this, it's a velocity type move, what's the target on the counter trend? First of all, you have to know there's a counter trend. But what's the target? And it's like, it's a soft target, meaning you usually get there, but it can go further, but you don't really know. But it's the thought process that matters, the basic model, right? It's not like it has to do it, but it very often does. And look at, so we've had 3 people answer it correctly. If you don't know, is it worth $88 to know that and a whole bunch more? Yeah. Look, if you're here on Tuesday or Monday, but that's a Tuesday for sure, you're thinking it has a good chance of going back to here. What do we do now? And it's in the training course. I'm like, I don't really know. This is an observation I've made over 20 years. But after that, I don't know if there's a clear path beyond that. Sometimes it goes this way, sometimes it goes that way. Maybe sometimes it goes that way. But this very often can lead to that. So I would say, like, it would be terrible if you didn't know that. Now, here's the interesting thing. If this happened on Thursday, you would not expect that. Isn't that crazy? So you should know. And by the way, I think is that the only counter trend trade I teach? I think so. Like, only in that situation would you sell. Only in a situation like that would you sell such an amazing rally. So, I think is that valuable? Is that worth $88 to learn that? Probably, right? I'm trying to suck you in, guys. Of course, I want you to pay the $88 so I can afford a $490,000 Lamborghini. Which means I have to sucker a lot of people in to pay the $88 so I can get a $490,000 Lamborghini. What are they? LP 650s? Or maybe it's just cheap. Yeah. I want you to know, because the whole point of me doing this every day, well, first of all, it keeps me razor sharp. I was tired yesterday, and I have a terrible story that I'm not even going to share it, but it was a beautiful day that ended terribly. My wife handled it very well, but it ended terribly. I was so tired. I had such a big day yesterday. It was so beautiful, though. It was such a great day. But here I am. I have a headache. I'm tired. Hey, man, but I got BOE and all that kind of stuff, and it's I can't sleep in, and then I got my live stream. Like, you just have to be game on. But I want you to get to the point where you let down your guard and say, maybe this SOB is actually trying to help. Maybe he's doing it. I used to say I'm doing it to get into Forex heaven, to pay for all the sins I've made. But whatever, like, to join so you can learn. That's all. That's where I'm getting to. If 1,000 people signed up, I wouldn't even have a down payment for a yellow Lamborghini. I want you to think about that. There's it's so cheap, it's stupid. Thank you, Roderick. Well, at 99, I don't think I was at that one. I used to love going to those festivals. Woodstock 99. Yeah, the original Woodstock, right? You're like, wait, Woodstock 99 wasn't the original? No. Let's just put it this way. I have seen Limp Bizkit in concert. Yeah. Man, I've seen so many cool bands of the time. Oh, it was killer times, right? Rage Against the Machine when they were young. Red Hot Chili Peppers when they were young. Hey, man, I was even at Lilith Fair a couple of times. And one time, I'm in line to get beer at Lilith Fair. And who was in front of me? Hillary Clinton. Not Hillary Clinton, the other one. Chelsea Clinton. like at Lilith Fair. Anyway, yeah. All right, so let's move on. What I said yesterday, and I really don't have much to add today. What I said yesterday is I want to sell pound and euro. I'm not sure about the other commodities. I want to, but they may not be ready. I'm not sure about yen because we have yield curve control, and sometimes seasonality works great, and then all of a sudden the central bank steps in, and then you get this opposite thing, and so there's sort of a volatility that's hard to time. So I'm left with, I want to buy dollar. I want to sell euro and pound. I'm watching commodities like crazy. And the best trading is oil. Is that right? Hope saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers at Lollapalooza 93. Probably around that time I saw, excuse me, whole, believe it or not, it was L7, 4 non-blondes, whole, and then Nirvana. And this is before, I think, probably the tour that Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain met each other and probably fell in love. So, well, actually, that's not true because they knew each other when he wrote the big album that really put Nirvana. They lived together in LA, so they knew each other, I guess. But nonetheless, I was at that Nirvana concert at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. And one of the few regrets I have in life is I bought a concert t-shirt, and it was the smiley face with the bullet hole through the forehead. And it said Nirvana on it. And on the back, it had all the tour dates. And they misspelled San Francisco. And I threw the t-shirt away at some point in my life. No! That would have been so rare. Just the t-shirt itself would be in high demand right now. But a misprint? No! Okay. Jim was hanging out with the Doors in Hollywood. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. No! Anywho. Yeah. Yeah, those were the days, huh? You remember Napster? I was at a Metallica concert, again at the Cow Palace, which I don't even know if it still exists in San Francisco. But what's his face, the drummer, Lars comes out on stage and talks bad about Napster, and the crowd booed him. It's the Silicon Valley. Everyone was doing Napster. And he got booed. It was pretty funny. Yeah. I recall being at the Cow Palace and seeing Kid Rock, and I didn't think much of him, and his songs are pretty basic, let's just say. But one interesting thing about Bob, that's actually his name, not Bob Rock, Kid Rock. At his concert, during one song, he ran across the stage, grabbed the guitar from somebody, from the guitarist, excuse me, and played a guitar solo. And then he ran over and grabbed the bass guitar and then did a bass guitar solo. And then went over the keyboards or something and played the keyboards. I think they had a DJ. He scratched the record a little bit, ran over and played the drums. And he played all the instruments and then went back to finishing lyrically singing the song. And I'm like, okay, I don't actually like Kid Rock. But that was impressive. So anyways, old days. So that would have been like early 90s, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. That is impressive. You're like, okay, I don't like him, but give the boy some props. Oh, Billy Joel does that? Or are you talking about the guy from Green Day? Billy Joel? Oh, I love Green Day. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I wanted to open up the stock market. Thank you. Man, I'm telling you, I haven't slept much this week. I mean, I'm telling you, last night it ended horribly. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, let's open up the stock market. Oh, I misspelled it. That's pretty funny, though. Do you have the time to listen to me, Ryan? All right. Apparently you do. All right. Coinbase is up 25. Oh. Really? I don't own Coinbase. I almost bought it at the bottom. I don't remember which stocks, but I bought some stocks during our pullback, you know, our crash or whatever you want to call it, our COVID crash. I bought some stock at the IPO price, which is nice. And I bet you I probably could have done that with Coinbase. I might have been thinking. Denise says Billy Joel did play every instrument at the concert. Okay, that is cool. And look, I respect Billy Joel a lot more than Kid Rock. But the thing with Kid Rock, and if you know his story, he was always not quite good enough. And he found success anyways. He's not that great. He doesn't sing that well. His songs are cliche, so on and so forth. But he made a mark for himself. He did it. He found a way. He went from poppy to rock to sort of more hip hop and rock, kind of like a Limp Bizkit for a while. And then he went kind of country western, and all of a sudden he's singing with cliches with Sheryl Crow. I hate that song. But he found his way. He made his money. He made his mark. He did it anyways. And it was a struggle for him. He worked on it for years, sleeping on people's couches because he had no money. Then he found it. So good for him. Okay. So this is what we've been watching. I said, was it last week? It's this trend line that I'm paying most attention to. And that as we get to this 4,200, this is where I get worried. Okay, so I might add to my hedge here. Okay, so to put this in perspective, I think I bought the S&P 500 at 42. But I think a lot of people did as well. For some reason, I think 42 is a magic number for people. I think I bought in here. Okay. So for me, if I were to be worried about the stock market, now the trades I made are long-term, it would be like this. But I think if it came down, what the chart tells me is maybe it just comes down to a double bottom. It's not telling me anything about future risk. It doesn't tell me if we have a crisis in Europe with energy, and oil goes to $150 a barrel. That's not priced into this model. Okay, this is the June Fed meeting, or sorry, the July. Oh wait, that's the June Fed meeting was 20th, somewhere in here, and the July was here. So we broke out of this range and above that support after the July. So if we don't, right? So this chart is only telling me technically, if this holds, this is likely to be the bottom. Okay. And this might be important. That's all. Now I have another line up here at 43 or something. Yeah, good point, Hope. Good. That's a great point. There were many times in his life, if I remember the documentary correct, in the early days, he couldn't figure out what to do, what kind of music. He didn't know. He tried a bunch of things. He wasn't making money. He was desperately broke. Like literally no place to live, no nothing. His music wasn't popular. And, well, most people would have given up and bought an options trading course or bought an infomercial course on how to get rich flipping real estate. But he stayed true to himself and he kept at it and he found his way. And Lollapalooza, I think, is when he got it. If I remember the documentary correctly, one of the questions he asked is, you know, when did you know you became a rock star, not a struggling musician? And I think it was Lollapalooza. And he comes out, no one even heard of him before. It's the middle of the day. There's no, right? People are just there because it's the next band. It's not even the big band. They don't know Kid Rock. They don't know. And he comes out, bang bang, bitty 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 bum bum samui. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Right? He does the whole set. And people are like, this is awesome. And he's like, okay, I think it went well. So after the concert, he goes backstage and he goes in the shower. And this is his story, by the way, to shower off. And there's 12 naked girls waiting for him. And he's like, oh my God, I'm a rock star. And that was his answer. That's how he knew he made it. Hadn't received a paycheck, no nothing. Just one day, boom. And that was his interpretation. That's how he knew he made it. Just like, never happened to him before. It's such a man story too, isn't it? Can you imagine the Goo Goo Dolls, or whatever, playing at Lilith Fair, and they're like, "How did you know you became how did you know you were successful?" Well, we played the Lilith Fair, and when we were done, we went in the shower, and there was 12 naked men. Dude, that would be so scary. All right, so we did exotics, we did some commodities. We didn't do Bitcoin. Let's go back to Biddy. Okay, and this still says risk on. Was that right, Johnny? That's interesting. Quiet Riot. Yeah, Def Leppard has a story like that too. where, when they were popular, when they first really hit it, all of a sudden there was just drugs and girls everywhere. But they didn't ask for any of it. It was just unlimited amounts of everything. Debauchery. Hey, man, if you're a 25-year-old dude, hey, man, you get lost in that. It can lead to a lot of mistakes, too. All right. So anyway, so as long as we're above here, I have this set bearishly. I guess I have to say the basics and just make sure I'm clear. I have this set bearishly. Okay. And it's not bearish yet. So I have it sort of still fundamentally bearish. Notice the change of direction. When did it occur? Okay, July Fed meeting. So this is all of this. Euro going up, Bitcoin going up, so on and so forth. This is all related to the Fed meeting. And there are many, many, many speeches going on now. I think I said 16 last night, but I think there's been one or two more since then. I know Kashkari did a speech last night, and I don't think I counted that one. Kashkari from Minneapolis Fed last night said the market has priced in interest rates going up and then interest rates coming down. So let's just say 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. That's what's priced in. And he's like, we as a committee have never discussed that. He says what he thinks will happen is we go to here and we just stay. Okay, and of course you have to put a time on this. So we'll say 2021, 2022, 2023, okay, 2024. This is kind of what he's talking about. The market has the black line priced in, and he says, well, the only thing we've discussed is up, and then no discussion of bringing it down. Do you understand the market could be wrong? Everything that you think is right could be wrong. This is going up. I understand that. This is what I'm interested in between now and the end of the year. And if this happens, I don't really care about Bitcoin. Sorry. I care about the dollar. And this has meaning to me because then I can guess if crypto does one thing, stocks will probably do another thing, and bonds would do another thing. And this might all happen and not cause commodities to react, but the commodities, I'm thinking, will have the impact on all of this stuff, including Bitcoin. Okay? Usually it's the other way around, like the dollar will change commodities, but I think we're going to have the Fed will continue to raise interest rates and create a slowdown, which I don't really care raising interest rates to 3.5%. I really don't. It kind of needed to happen anyways, but I don't think it has anything to do with inflation. Now, that's really bold and almost stupid, but obviously it's because of inflation, but it's not going to be the thing that kills inflation, is really what I mean. Okay? Because if you kill demand, there'll still be not anything to buy. Okay. So what we'll have is we'll slow the economy down. We'll get interest rates to 3.5%, 4%, and we'll still have high commodity prices. Now you'll say, well, Wayne, we don't have high commodity prices now. Okay, well, part of the model would be commodity prices going back up. Okay. And so that leads me to things like this. We discussed this, well, when we were here. We were not quite to this bottom when I discussed this. I can't remember if it was the oil group. I can't remember if it was the day trading group or the swing trading group. But anyways, I talked at length about nat gas, and we were in this decline. And, what I did was I put this here manually to say, well, that's interesting, and that would be the price. And then I gave rationale for not only nat gas going up from 6 to 9, but does anyone remember the number I gave? Not just from 6 up to 9, but does anyone remember the rationale? Yeah, to 27. We're at 9, dude. What do you mean 27? Hey, we were at 1. Then we're at 6. Then we're at 9. Okay? 1 to 6 is 600%. Okay? Then up another 50%, right? But 900% from the bottom. I'm just saying just another 300% up. Now that's very unlikely, but it's possible. So I'm not saying it's doing it, but if the pieces of the puzzles come together properly, if the cogs line up, I'm going to pull the hammer, and I know what to do in that scenario. Not with nat gas, just nat gas, but with nat gas, with oil. Okay? That's going to impact wheat prices, for example, if you're trading ag. It'll probably have an impact on the stock market, probably have an impact on the bond market, definitely impact the flow globally, flow of capital. So it'll impact the dollar. It'll impact the pound and the euro. It'll impact Japan. Okay. So you got to know these things. Last night I taught people about fracking and about the tar sands. So now when I say Venezuelan heavy crude, people can actually see. They know what it looks like. I mean, the actual stuff out of the ground. They know what the oil sands are, how they're different, how they're mined, how they're processed to be turned into nasty crude, nasty, unusable crude. How you get oil out of sand. How do you get tar from sand? They know how to do that. They know the environmental downsides to all this, all the concerns. And then if I say synthetic oil, you have a good, solid understanding of that. Oh, yeah, synthetic. In situ mining? You can explain that to somebody, huh? Isn't that neat? You're like, oh, you mean the steam-assisted process using horizontal heating. If I say the oil sands, you know how different that is from normal crude oil, even just the depth of it. It's pretty interesting. Now you're going to have jokes about unconventional oil drilling. You could be laughing with your friends. You're like, oh man, you crack me up. You're such a perf. And you'll understand what I just said. So anyways, I hope you're enjoying that. Hope you're enjoying that course. I certainly am. Oh man, you crack me up. You're such a perf. Cool. So anyways, I'm not saying natural gas is going to go to 27. I'm saying it could. All right. So I have to watch the variables in which that would, produce a result like that. The worst thing is to not know it's coming and then miss the whole dang thing. So I'd rather have it as like a long shot potential outcome, but you keep your eyes open to the correct variables. And once you start to kind of see things turning toward that, you're like, okay, it's becoming less and less of a long shot. Might still be a Hail Mary, but you know when to show up and you know what's at stake. And you might actually be able to get in on that. And that's the whole point. It's not that you're right, it's that you're ready. Okay? In the day trading group, we worked really hard last year to be ready, willing, and able. Okay? So looking at things longer term, yen and Swissy are still strong. Obviously, the dollar should be stronger. So based on the in my opinion, misinterpretation of what Powell said, the dollar is unusually weak. That's probably a longer term opportunity. The dollar should be stronger. Currently, we're at 106.13. Swissy and yen are strong. Okay, that makes sense. That's normal for seasonality. Makes sense. Euro is still quite weak, but you're like, but it's been up this whole time. Uh-huh. So that's the difference between, I think, retail and institutional trading. Retail traders are on this and they're like, Euro's ripper strong. And someone else comes along and says, well, you go ahead and buy it. I'll sell it later. Take your time. Hurry up. Choice is yours. Don't be late. Okay. Pound all over the place. Look at this up. Just all over the place. Complicated. Okay, complicated. And like I said, we got to worry. When I was talking about the pound there, right? Right. So if you were a bear and you were like trading this as an index, you'd kind of want to kick off this and then bring it down. Otherwise, what the pattern is saying, well, the last time we did that is pound strength again. So which one do you want to do? Remember, this is pound versus everything. So a bad pound day could be a great opportunity for a bull. That's how I want you to think. Not chasing it down because the Bank of England and the press conference and pound's weak today. Uh-huh. That's why I told you days ago, if you're going to trade it, trade it. Days ago, not now. You should probably have hit this and taken profit. Done. Okay? Matrix, if you sell at support, that's what just happened. You're a liquidity event. Okay. Somebody else's liquidity event. So I think that's it. I think I'll leave it at there. It's an interesting day. Weekly jobs, what was it, 260? Still slightly getting bigger every week. I think that we're in the 6th week of that trend. The Fed is clearly watching that, but it's no big deal right now. We have non-farm payrolls tomorrow. I will be on the FX Street YouTube channel, 7:30 in the morning. I'll see you then. I won't be on Forex.Today. Matrix says doesn't sell its support, but may be guilty of not taking profit on time. Well, that's what it's all about. When somebody is trading, when somebody else is taking profit, that's the liquidity event. They're exiting and someone else is taking that same position. Okay. Yes, thanks, Denise. Yeah, today is the swing trading group at 4 p.m. We will be meeting to set up next week's trades, talk about the fundamentals, so on and so forth. So that'll be great. Greatest day of the week, the swing trading group. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a very inspirational session that we do, I think, when it comes to the swing trading group. I think it's amazing. The work we do there is amazing. So, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. Have a wonderful day, everybody.